In order to sell on Amazon, you have to sign up to an Amazon Seller Central account. This applies if you're doing online arbitrage like me, if you're doing wholesale, private label, or any other way of selling on Amazon. So I've sold nearly £5 million worth of product on Amazon over the past 3 years. But at the start, I found that Seller Central dashboard was just really quite intimidating. It really put me off selling on Amazon. So in this video, I'm gonna go through every aspect of it so that you can walk away feeling completely confident in how to understand and use the Seller Central website. But before I do, I just wanted to let you guys know quickly that I am running an offer on my Amazon mentorship program. With this offer, you can now join for just £290 per month. Without further ado, let's get into the video. So the first step is literally just to make an account on Seller Central. So if you Google Amazon Seller Central and head over to the website, you'll see this page here. It really is as simple as just clicking this big sign up button. And then on this page, I would recommend creating a brand new Amazon account. Keep it separate from any other Amazon accounts you have, just because you might have issues buying through those Amazon accounts. If you kind of link it to your Seller Central, it's just much better to make a fresh account. So you can click on create Amazon account down here, enter your name, email, your password, and then from there, obviously verify your email address. I can't really take you guys further than this in this video because, you know, I don't want to set up a whole fake Seller Central account, and I think that may cause issues with me already having one. But I do remember many years ago when I did sign up for a Seller Central account, it was all fairly standard stuff. You just want to sign up as an individual when you first get started, just with your own kind of information. If you don't already have a limited company, that's fine to do. You can just kind of use your own information to set up this account. There is a monthly cost to this as well. You can see that it's £25 per month plus your selling fees. So you will have to pay that 30 quid a month essentially, which is a little bit of a pain, but just the cost of having a Seller Central account. You're probably also going to need to verify your identity in some way. So you probably have to upload your passport, your driver's license, something like that. And often, at least in my case, I had to have a call with someone from Seller Central where they made me kind of hold my passport up to my face and just kind of confirm that I'm a real person. I think there is actually a free subscription, but you'll end up paying more in seller fees, so it is definitely well worth paying for the 30 quid a month subscription because, you know, it's only 30 quid. And yeah, you just want to go through that whole sign up page, and once you get to the end, now you have your Seller Central account. So now once you've got your Seller Central account, you're completely verified and set up, you should see a page just like this on screen now. So here you can obviously see my sales, my payments, my feedback, all of that good stuff. You can see these are my kind of fastest selling, or at least the most revenue creating products over the past 30 days. So let me run you through kind of the most important need to know features of Seller Central for kind of making this Amazon stuff kind of work. So if we head up here to the top left and click on this little hamburger icon, you'll then get this main kind of navigation page where you'll be able to access all the various things that you need to access. So first up, most importantly, how do you actually add a product to your inventory on Seller Central? So if we go over to catalog and go to add products, over here you'll be able to enter in an ASIN or an item name and add your products to Seller Central. So if we go and paste in this ASIN here, hit search, you can see the item pops up. We can select the condition that we're going to be selling it in, so we'll click new, click sell this product, and you've got this slightly ugly looking page which they've just recently released where you can enter in all your offer details. So in most cases, if you're doing FBA, you want to select this. You can then click on the edit button here and enter in your price. So let's say you want to sell this item for $99.99, just matching the buy box there. We don't need to enter the quantity of items that we have because we're doing FBA, but obviously if you then select FBM, you can type in your quantity there, and we'll just hit save down here. So we've now got our kind of UK offer. I would recommend kind of just disabling any of these kind of other marketplaces. It gets a real technical and really just a headache. I end up selling a lot of stuff as a loss when I've forgotten to uncheck that. So yeah, we just click apply, and then now we just click ready to submit and list as FBA. And then up here, wherever you get the barcode type selected thing, always check Amazon barcodes. You want to avoid using manufacturer barcodes for a huge number of reasons. If you really want to know why, comment down below and I'll explain. Click Amazon barcodes, click list as FBA, and then now your product has been listed. So you see here, this is the page where you can kind of make shipments. So you can just click no prep needed for this item. Fill in the amount of units that you want to pack, so it'll pack 100 units of this item, and then you can proceed from there to kind of create a shipment in Seller Central. Now, I will note that Seller Central is quite slow. When you usually add a product, it takes a good 15 minutes or so for it to fully kind of populate in the Seller Central system. Like if I go to my inventory page right now, you're not going to see this item until I wait about 15 minutes. So if anything's glitching out at all, just wait a little bit. Like if you just added the product, just give it 15 minutes to kind of catch up. I don't know why such a huge company has such a terrible system on the back end, but that's just what you got to deal with. And then speaking of inventory, so if we head back to the dashboard and go on our inventory page, click manage all inventory up here. On the inventory page, we can see all of our items in stock, the prices we're selling them at. See, I've got a couple FBM items listed, as well as some FBA items as well. So you've got a good amount of stock coming in for these, which is nice. But yeah, from here, you can modify your pricing, take actions on inventory. For example, I could click up here and I could change this to fulfilled by merchant if I wanted to. So that means I would then start shipping that product myself. Now I do have some items actually already listed as FBA, so I'd probably just want to create a whole new listing for these. I can also send or replenish inventory, so that's how I kind of add this to a shipment, send in some new stock for that item. I can match the lowest price on the listing. So yeah, right now I'm at £92, but the lowest price is 77. So I can do that, and that will kind of lower my price to the lowest price on the listing. I can create a removal order for this product, so I can have it get sent back to me. I can create a fulfillment order. So say maybe I've sold this item on eBay and I want Amazon to do the fulfillment and send it to my eBay customer. I can do it through that. And of course, I can also just delete the listing if I am completely done with it, or even launch ads, which isn't something I really do as an online arbitrage seller, but depending on what sort of business you're in, could be useful. And then back to this hamburger menu. Let's have a look at the other options here. So yeah, if you're adding products, you can also add products via upload. This is where you can view your selling application. So this will show you kind of your on-gate stuff. Under inventory, you've also just got the manage all inventory button and then kind of quick links to other stuff. There used to be a kind of page for inventory and a separate page for FBA inventory, but I believe with a recent update, they've now merged it. So I don't quite know why there's still two buttons up here. It seems they've probably just forgotten about that. Under pricing, I don't really ever check this stuff, to be honest. Pricing health, it's like, I price items how I want to price it. I don't care what Amazon thinks. Automate pricing. I wouldn't personally never want to let Amazon choose the prices of my items. I would always use a third-party repricer like Ascent. Over on the orders page, this can actually be quite useful. So we can manage our orders here. So we see all of our incoming FBA and FBM orders. We can also create an MCF order. So that's multi-channel fulfillment. So for example, we sell the item on eBay. We want them to ship it to the customer. That's how you do it. And you can also view your order report and kind of safety claims, seller fulfilled returns as well, which I don't personally really touch much because I don't do much FBM. But it's good to know where those links are. Advertising, again, I don't really do advertising on my listings because with online arbitrage, you're just selling products that already sell well. You don't really run ads on them. But if you were doing private label, advertising would probably be quite useful to you. Under stores, I don't know if I've ever clicked on this, to be honest. It's just where you kind of manage your kind of international stores and whatever, but I don't really sell internationally, so this is not something that I really use. Growth opportunities, I find this to be just a pain in general. You know, it's basically just companies trying to give you like terrible loans, or Amazon telling you to lower your price on listings or get more stock in, which may be helpful for some people, but for online arbitrage sellers, it just isn't really kind of useful at all. In the reports page though, this is definitely really useful, especially if you want to dive into the kind of nitty-gritty details of how your Amazon business is doing. You can generate a huge amount of reports about kind of returns, FBA related stuff, advertising or taxes or whatever. This is definitely something useful to give your accountant access to. There are so many different reports on Amazon, so it's definitely worth checking these out yourself. But my kind of key reports that I look at is probably the reimbursements report over here. So if you go to reports and then fulfilled by Amazon, and once you've gone to the reports page, you'll see all of these links for all of these reports down the side, or you know, you can even see it here. It's one of the most popular reports that people check. But yeah, I take a lot of looks at I frequently look at the reimbursements report, the FBA customer returns report as well, especially because this allows you to check the exact reason that Amazon customers have returned the item. Removal order detail report could be really good for just keeping track of your removal orders, you know, what stock is being sent back to you from Amazon. And tax document library. So this is something that I never look at myself, but my accountant does have access to this and they will look at it. This just tells them everything they need to know about the tax side of Amazon. Then we've got payments as well. So most importantly, probably the payments page. So we head over to payments. Oh, I can actually request a payment. So let me do that now. I definitely recommend checking this page every 24 hours because that's how often you can request a disbursement, and always request a disbursement. You do not want to leave money sitting in your Seller Central account because there's just no reason to. You know, you're not making any interest on that. You know, it's much, much better to have it in your bank account where it's safe and you've got it and not in Amazon's hands. Then under performance, you've got access to the account health page, which is super important. You definitely want to be keeping an eye on that, keeping your account nice and healthy. And if you do get any IP claims, authenticity complaints, or anything like that, deal with them quickly. They're usually not too tricky to beat though. You just need to upload your invoices from your supplier. And as long as you're buying from a legit, well-known supplier, you won't have an issue. You've got the feedback manager as well. So on there, you're able to kind of check your feedback from other customers, which can be useful. You can also remove bad feedbacks if you're an FBA seller, which seems like a weird feature to have. I actually don't quite get why they have this feature, but if you do ever mess up an order, you can get it removed, which is great, I guess. Good for the seller, bit weird for the customer, but it's just how Amazon works. You can also check your A to Z guarantee claims, chargeback claims, stuff like that, which is only really relevant if you do FBM, so it's not something that I really keep an eye on. Apps and services, so this is just like connections to tools like SellerSite or Ascent Repricer and stuff like that, where it's basically connected to your Amazon account and pulling data from there. You can manage all that from that page. B2B, so I'm not really familiar with this, to be honest. I guess this is just not really my kind of line of business, but if you do B2B through Amazon, you obviously manage it through there. Brands as well, you know, managing your brands, brand protection, all that stuff, you can do that through this page, but again, I don't own any brands, I just sell other people's brands, so it's not really relevant for me. And finally, Learn. So this is where you can access news, the forums, and Seller University to learn more about Amazon. Generally, the main things that you want to be focusing on as a beginner is literally just adding new products, creating shipments, sending stock into Amazon, and just try and not be too intimidated by how unintuitive this website is. I remember when I first looked at it, I was just like, oh, this means, you know, nothing to me. It's just stuff everywhere. What does stranded inventory mean? What does this mean? Like, I just didn't know what I was doing. But over time, with practice, you will understand it. You just got to stick with it. So there you have it. That is a brief overview of how you can use Amazon Seller Central as an Amazon seller. Amazon has completely changed my life, and it has changed the lives of so many of my mentorship students as well. Here's what some of them had to say.
And to be honest, when I found your course, that's when it introduced me to more efficient and faster, more effective methods.
So I know that if I hadn't invested into the business with your mentoring, I wouldn't have managed to get to where I am today.
In the past 30 days alone, we've got a combined profit of about 100k between us. So I'm on about 38k profit. Sam, what were you on?
Roughly about 62,000.
As I said in the introduction, I'm currently running a deal on my Amazon mentorship program where you can join for just £290 per month. That is less than the price of a VA, and for that price you're going to get one-to-one calls with me, group sessions, my secret sourcing methods, exclusive bits of software, lead giveaways, and so much more. So if you want to take your Amazon business seriously, then click the link down below in the video description to book in a call with me to learn more. Finally, make sure to like and subscribe if you found this video helpful, and click up here to watch my video on how you can find products to sell on Amazon.